Hello everybody, welcome to Raising Vibrations, and you're with Simon today. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the current chart and the energy at the moment. And we're going to be talking about the time of integration. And we're just coming off the back of the full moon in Leo. And we're also coming back to a place where something really significant and really important is actually taking place for us right now. And that is Venus's relationship to Chiron, and Chiron square the nodes, Venus square the nodes. And what does that mean for us in this current time that we're experiencing right now? Like, how are we able to, really step into the energy that is available for us to heal some really deep karmic and ancestral, impressions that we carry with ourselves. This is a really, really great time to experience integrating into your life tools and skills and anything that you've picked up along the way that you've been actively investing your time and energy into, that really gives you a stronger sense of being empowered in your life. Okay, so that's how I really perceive this chart that I want to share with you today, and how right now we're in a really, really powerful time of integration and being able to actually shift cellular memory so that we can move forward being deeper in connected to our own essence, deeply connected to the truth of what we are and what we stand for, and what is it like to really live in that place, So I chose this picture because there was a couple of things that I felt were really speaking to me. The bridge over here and in this area speaks to this connection between the physical sense of certainty and safety. Okay. And the certainty and safety is this like beach area and beach frontier. Okay. And the bridge symbolizes to me the relationship between when we are about to move from something that makes us feel safe and makes us feel secure and what we can trust into the unknown territory of the water, of exploration, of what exists within our consciousness, what exists within the deeper emotional realms of our human journey, right? What does it mean to individuate? What does it mean to experience a life where you're really understanding this relationship between your emotional reality and how that emotional reality is consistently holding messages from the soul, messages from the parts of ourselves that we don't see in the physical realm. And so we don't get a sense of security because it's unfamiliar. It can be abstract. So the sun in this picture over here reflects to me first a dawning of something new, even though this can be the sun actually setting. And in polarity, both of them are representing an experience where there is a shift. There is a shift in time from one phase of reality to another. Does that make sense? And this bridge is representing the path and the experience that we have when we move from one place of security and a place of sense in ourselves. So this would be represented by the beach, the feeling of security, the feeling of the known, the feeling of what we've always stood on as our center, and how we traverse the world of the unknown, how we traverse the world of our emotional reality, and how that at this period of time right now, with this chart and this full moon that we've had and these lunar and solar eclipses that just recently had in Cancer Capricorn, it is a time of shifting. And the sun also in this picture over here represents to me the way that we have come to individuate ourselves, to find our unique dharma. And that is an illumination for us. It's the center, it's the core. What is the core of who we are? So there's quite a lot of things that I've brought up through this imagery over here in terms of what I see in the chart. And so let me bring it to everybody's attention. Um, so firstly, here we sit with Chiron and Venus. And you can see that Chiron and Venus, now Venus has crossed Chiron. Venus is in that square to the nodes. What does that mean? And then, of course, as I said, we've also got Chiron in aspect and in square to those nodes. And what does that mean? Okay. So the title of this video is Time of Integration. And the dawning or the shift in time represented by this imagery of the sun, whether it be when the sun is coming up in the morning or when it's going down during the nighttime. This is a transition. And the reference is that the full moon that we had in Leo, Venus is sitting here, and we have now this Venus conjunction in a new phase. We have Venus posted to this conversation. And so the integration that I'm talking about here, a time of integration, is what have we experienced over the last couple of weeks that have been really intense for us. Remember, in the full moon, I talked about this relationship between vulnerability and courage and strength. And so all of us have really had a tremendous amount of weight on us that we've been carrying. And one of the things that's really important to understand about the relationship to that weight that we're carrying is, what is it inside of us? What is it inside of us that is deeply unique? That when we interact with the world, there's a percentage of our experience that's going to wound us. We're going to feel wounded by it because we can't, in a sense, actually be able to translate some of these deeper psychic experiences that we carry with us to other people. So there's always going to be an aspect of life where we are going to be afflicted and affected and hurt by experiences. We can't avoid it. So what is the right psychological relationship to these experiences that allows us to become empowered? And I suppose, to me, that would be a coming into recognizing what is really valuable for us that can be different for another person. And you'll notice here in what I'm sharing, I'm also talking about how the moon is in Libra. And of course, depending on when you watch this, the moon will not necessarily be in a direct opposition to Chiron and to Venus. It might move across there, and you might watch this video in 2 days' time and it might be in Scorpio. But as we're recording it today, this moon makes an opposition to this Chiron Venus, and it also squares the nodes at the same time for a brief moment. And what I'm trying to capture in this moment over here is that moon is just reflecting the tension between the past and what is available for us to integrate into this time right now going forward, that is deeply healing for us, that empowers us. And what have our experiences of the past that have afflicted us, that have been wounded by us, teaching us about ourselves? Not about what's wrong with the other person, but what is real and important and essential for ourselves. And the reflection is coming through the moon in Libra over here, where we're always being consistently reflected back. Our essence is always being reflected back through the other. The bridge in itself can also speak to the dynamic of communication between two, and how, as much as we would love for communication to be so fluid and clear all the time, it's not possible. So how do we still remain true and real for ourselves while also recognizing that the other person is doing the same for them? That age-old kind of comment of, we don't know, we can't really make judgments for other people about themselves unless we've walked a mile in their shoes. And it's kind of really the essence over here with this Chiron Venus. It's, it squares the nodes. So the nodal axis, this Cancer Capricorn, it has a lot to do with the way that we are able to shift our experiences and wounds and traumas from the past. And what are they teaching us, and what have they taught us, and what wisdom we can bring with us, and how we can move forward with those experiences in ways where we accept those things as part of life. And we progressively begin to empower and give attention to and life to what is really meaningful for us, what is inspirational for us, what is purposeful for us. So an example that I could give again with this type of symbolism, as we cross from the place of certainty and security, the old way that we would see ourselves, that we identified as, oh, this is who we are. This is how I've always seen myself. Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, South Node in Capricorn. This is how I define myself. This is my place of security, the beach. And what is this Chiron Venus energy over here? Now that Venus is crossed over Chiron, it's suggesting to us a new way of relating, a new way of being, right? But part of it is deeply embedded in the Chironic experience, which is not something that's intellectual, it's deeply experiential. And so it's unique to us. That's one of the ways that the wound manifests when we're coming into the plane, is that for the first 3 months, 4 months of our lives, how do we articulate our deep psychic sensitivities to our parents when we don't have this verbal definition and ability to communicate ourselves? And so there's a massive kind of internal experience of the child being in a deep state of vulnerability and not being able to communicate. And so that's where a lot of these kind of Chiron material happens, these experiences happen, pre-verbal. So somatic healing, somatic therapy, EMDR type of work, these are breath work as an example. That would be healing modalities that would speak to Chironic experiences, because they're just deeply ingrained energetic impressions. And so we carry a lot of these things, and they're all with us and beneath the surface, in the shadow parts of ourselves and the way that we perceive things and see things. This Chiron Venus energy over here suggesting a new way of relating to these experiences, a new way of being able to see and take responsibility for our own experiences. And to be able to ask ourselves the question, in a kind of codependent relationship dynamic, the healing that can come from this is not to make judgments on codependency as a negative thing, but to ask the question, how does that person struggle to co-regulate? Or how does that person struggle to regulate their own nervous system? Chiron is a nervous system oriented experience. And so it's like these types of questions that are rooted in more about understanding our human nature and what happens to us as we develop. And this experience over here suggests a portal and a potential for opening up new value structures, new ways of taking care of our physical bodies and understanding this reality of the physical form. This is part of the kind of feminine or goddess energy in that way, returning us our ability to understand the yin and the way that it operates, or that essence operates and integrates. Aquarius, the sun is sitting at 23 degrees Aquarius. We're coming to the later stages of the Aquarius energy over here, and eventually the sun will move into Pisces. So this is also a time in which there is a lot of, with Aquarius energy, it's always about acceleration. It's always about breaking patterns. It's always about changing the dynamic and then being able to experience reality in this new form. So this is a time of integration for us. This is a time of taking insights and awarenesses and experiences that we've had and now beginning to embody it. And what action can you take today that embodies the experience of the wisdom that you have gotten over the last, say, year, as an example? And how do these slow progressive changes over time become something that completely shifts the center of your beach to the point where it's in a different land? It's more empowering to you. And how does this energy show you what is actually beneath the surface in terms of your Dharma? We have an individual process that we're all working through, every single one of us. These symbols over here suggest, as they interact with our natal chart, as stimulus. Okay, so their story goes over our natal charts, and then our natal chart interfaces with this. So we're always consistently interfacing between our deep evolutionary process and what energy is supporting that process through presenting a set of experiences that hold potential in them for us to then, through free will, interact with that and take advantage of that. So the message today is time for integration. There is a new energy available for us right now. And it is a slow progressive thing. It's not something that it just miraculously changes. It is taking into your life and seeing new actions, taking new action to integrate and heal the sense of self. And when I say heal the sense of self, I mean starting to develop a way of seeing yourself that is different to the past, in which old patterns can no longer, you know, prevent you from experiencing deeper layers of empowerment for yourself. Okay. So once again, thank you very much for watching the content. I really hope that you found a lot of value in this. And we just want to draw your attention to something. For those of you that have been interested in studying astrology with us, if you want to learn astrology, to apply it to your own life, to participate in our online astrology discussion group, and just learn astrology, we're offering something for everybody. If you purchase the full astrology school with us, we are wanting to give you 100 euros store credit, or 110, 120, I think it is. I'm not sure the exact exchange rate, dollars. And that store credit you can use for anything that's on our site. If you want to book a reading with it, if you want to purchase additional things on our site, if you want to join the immersion and use that store credit, you can. And that's available if you purchase the astrology school in full, okay? Otherwise, if you're wanting to learn more about the archetypes and storytelling and, just Pluto and the foundation of EA in that sense, if you purchase the foundation course, right, which is more like section 1, and you'll get an opportunity to send us a question that you've got that you want an answer from. And I'll create a 10 to 15 minute MP3 that I'll send to you that essentially directly responds to your question. So if it's about your chart, if it's about an upcoming transit, we're offering that. So that's for free. So if you purchase the foundation course, we're offering you the option to write to us about a question, and we'll do an MP3 to respond to that, okay? So the links are below. They're in the description as well as the comment section. And this is available until the end of February 2020. Okay. All right, everybody. Have an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye.